Zalete, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you. Or wonders they say shall never cease to happen. Wonders they say shall never cease to happen. And that is really true. Are all in all the Savior, the Protector, the Unifier, the Messiah, the King of Kings, the most loved. General Asimi says something that the people who are preaching our poverty to us are the real poor people. And it's true. Niger has just decided to turn off the light and people are having sleepless nights. Darkness everywhere. You can't believe that the people have never seen darkness. What they call doomsday in Ghana are now experiencing doomsday. France, the streets in France are in total darkness. Why? Because all in all the Savior, the Protector, the Unifier, the Messiah, the King of Kings, the most loved, General Abdurrahman Tiani decided to cash them out. Yes, he has just decided to cash them out. And now France is feeling the heat. This is the exact same thing the Nigerians have been experiencing for all these decades. They have uranium, yet they live in total darkness. France and Europe were enjoying. According to reports, every 1 out of 3 bulbs is powered by uranium from Niger. Yet the people in Niger never know what they call energy. And ever since the leaders came into power, the true leaders of Africa, and decided to take control over everything, they are suffering. The people are suffering. They are not knowing peace. It is increasing. Yet this is the same Europe that came to G20, the G20 summit in South Africa, preaching our darkness to us. And they told the whole world how they are raising billions of euros to come and support us so that when our children close from school, they'll have energy when the sun sets. But we ask the same Europe, are they seeing what is happening in France? Africa don't need help. You see, for all these years they have preached poverty to us. They pretend they're the ones supporting us with their aids, like what they came and did in South Africa. So the African child sits here and thinks that we have light as a result of Europe. But the truth is, we rather give them free energy. Now France is looking for suppliers, but things are not easy.
Family go out. Oh, it's Jesus. Currently they're on my name, and yes. Currently in Paris. In nearly 75 streets there is no current, and yes, there is no current. He is feeling the absence of our uranium. And yes, guys, we are listening to the video which is there in all corners and ouch. Look at these images coming to us tonight from Paris. Then you will distinguish in Paris buildings without electricity. We are told tonight it was the list that confirmed this. We were not warned. There were power outages tonight. Here are in some streets of Paris, according to the information that comes to me. It was around 11 p.m. 75 streets were affected in the 1st and 4th districts, 62 streets cut off in the 3rd, and finally 34 streets in the 5th district. On social networks, obviously there are a lot of internet users who have begun to share from 10:30 p.m. from the celebrations. Obviously a family, you understood. Then there it is, Zinzin, hey. Our uranium is missing in Manu so much, hey. Manu, come and ask for forgiveness. You see that you are nothing without us, no, ha ha ha. Here, it's not there, it's not here, it's at home. He, it is for us all that gives you. Running there is for us. If you give me forgiveness there, we will give you one little yes. But if you want to play the gangabaz, oh hot. Sleep in the dark. That's what this is all about, guys. By wanting to play too much, the danger is there. We end up putting ourselves in danger. Here's what he doesn't know, it started like that. We haven't done it yet 10 years. You are already crying. We call it sample. Warm guys, oh share this everywhere, oh period.
You know how they normally buy the things cheap from Niger at the time of the democratic elected? They used to buy it 0.80 euros. Go to the world market and be suppliers of 200 euros per kilo. Just look at this. Yet African Union, they do not see this as a coup d'etat. against the African. But when we had leaders who rose up and said, no, we cannot have uranium while we continue to be living in darkness, for the ones who have nothing to be enjoying and still making profit. We have African Union rising and singing the same songs of the colonizer to us and claiming that they must step down. They must step down for us to have a P who will come, and France will come into the continent, keep buying the uranium for 0.80 and keep selling it at the world market for 200 euros. Now we are seeing who is the true poor person in the world. When they came to Nairobi, Kenya, we are coming to help you. We are donating this amount of money to give to you so that you can have energy, you can build the infrastructure, you can build this. Yet, the same people who always pretend to be the helpers of Africa themselves are suffering. We never thought that a day like this will ever come. Now the people in France and the whole of Europe will understand that they depend on the African for survival. Africa is not a poor continent. It is systematic systems kept in place to make sure the African never rises. And the day will get leaders like Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso to take control over everything in Africa. We'll see who is truly the poor person. Like General Assimi Goïta said, the people preaching the African poverty to them are the ones that are poor. They can never survive without Africa. Just Niger alone, turning off the light, we are seeing darkness. So is the African the one that needs Europe or France? Because Emmanuel Macron told us when he came to Nairobi, Kenya, that we are seeing all that we are seeing in Mali because they have left. If they were there, we wouldn't have seen this. As if they have never been in Africa for 10 years without us being able to even arrest just one T. The TT activities keep spreading under their watch. The kind of training that they used to give to our military was nothing to write home about. And the necessary equipment we need to protect and defend ourselves wasn't there. So, now that we have leaders who have decided to take their own sovereignty into their own hands, look at the result. Even IMF came out telling the whole world, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso how their economy is even growing. These nations never went to IMF or any Western institution for help. Yet they keep tagging these same people with all sort of scripts, which we know this time the African has risen, and we are no longer buying into these scripts any longer. It's beautiful. Now the African must understand that the world has changed. You are not poor. We might be poor based on the standard they have set for the world and for themselves. Their material things you do not have doesn't mean that you are poor. Beneath us, we have our riches. They depend on these things. That's why they keep making sure they get you a leader who will allow them to continue to be taking the resources. But the moment you have leaders who are rising to say enough, you see them tagging and going after these leaders. No matter what the situation is, the African must be free. We must fight for our own survival. We must fight for our sovereignty. And that is why we are preaching the unification of all Africans. We must learn to love ourselves, to accept ourselves, to see how powerful we are, and to cherish ourselves. Unity is the only thing that will give us the strength and the power that we need. In unity lies our strength. When Africa finally decides to take control over everything that has to do with us, when we determine the prices of our resources and not people sitting outside of the continent determine the prices to suit them. When we finally have leaders who will choose their people over borders, like the former ECOWAS chairperson Julius Maada Bio made it clear to the world in Davos that they protect borders instead of protecting the people. When we finally get leaders who protect the people like what we are seeing in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, in the whole of Africa, we will see whether Africa is truly poor or the people that are preaching our poverty to us are rather the ones that are poor. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, in Europe and in France.